We have a major New York Yankees free agency update as Yankees insider Jack Curry has revealed the truth on both the Luis Arraez rumors and Jorge Polanco rumors and what the New York Yankees are thinking of doing for their second base position, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here. And real quick, if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a ton. We noticed 14% of people were subscribed to the channel. Let's try to get those numbers up as I zoom out a little bit. Guys, I absolutely love making videos for this channel. It would help out so much if you guys would subscribe. However, we're here to talk about baseball. Jorge Polanco and Luis Arraez specifically, both of these guys have been named as targets by the New York Yankees, and no one has their ear to the ground more than Yankees insider Jack Curry, who was asked about both of these guys and the Yankees' supposed interest, and he gave some pretty interesting insights. Now, it was mentioned, and we'll make this bigger because it's hard to see. Also, shout out to Fireside Yankees, friends of the show, or not friends of the show, but I'd like to be friends with them. They seem like cool people over there. But as mentioned by Fireside, Jack Curry does not think the Yankees have any real interest in working out a deal with the Padres for Luis Arraez. It just feels like it's an unlikely move at this point. And it doesn't mean they won't get an infielder, but that the Arraez rumors are very much overblown. Now, that honestly is not the most shocking thing in the world to me. But at the same time, it started to feel like that pretty recently. But at the same time, it would have made sense if the Yankees did hold interest in Arraez. Like, you look at the team, they desperately need a contact bat. With Aaron Judge protection, Arraez would be even better. And the Yankees have had a slower, great contact hitter in front of Aaron Judge before, and it's worked really well when talking about DJ LeMahieu. The key difference is DJ LeMahieu was a Gold Glove level fielder when he was doing that. Meanwhile, Luis Arraez got moved to first base on San Diego because he couldn't handle playing second or third. Or not that he couldn't handle it, he just wasn't very good at it and was causing a lot of errors or giving up a lot of errors, I should really say. He just was not a good fielder, and he hasn't really been a great fielder throughout his career. He's got one skill, and he's a great contact bat, which the Yankees do need, but they want better fielding than that as well, which is totally understandable. Now, I like the idea of Arraez because I think the Yankees are in dire straits needing a contact bat, but all the metrics say that Arraez would not be at his best in Yankee Stadium. Obviously, a lot of the times he gets on base and stuff, they're ground balls and stuff like that, and the Yankee Stadium, it's just not a good field for that. It's just, I mean, we've seen the numbers, we've talked about it before. He probably would struggle a bit when it comes to hitting the ball in play and also getting on base. It's very hard to do that in Yankee Stadium, so it would definitely cause some problems. However, I still would have liked the Yankees to make the move, and I think if they'd be able to trade Marcus Stroman for him, then I'd be interested in it. I was so close to making an entire video on that, but I feel like we've talked about Marcus Stroman trades enough and Luis Arraez enough that we didn't need to combine those, and I didn't need to give you guys 8 minutes on that. I could give you it in 45 seconds. I like the idea of it because they don't need Stroman. I like Luis Arraez as a hitter, but I don't like him enough to trade anything outside of Marcus Stroman, and unless it's a low-level prospect for him. And I think that it would be a good move for the New York Yankees. However, it feels unlikely the Padres would be cool with that. So that's it. That was the whole video that I was going to do on that. So we did it. But look, Luis Arraez is someone who the Yankees probably would have interest in if his value was basically nothing. If the Yankees could just take him for literally Marcus Stroman and get out of that Stroman money, they definitely do it. It's just he costs a bit more than that. He is one of the higher level targets available via trade right now, and the Padres aren't exactly like wanting to trade him hell or high water. They're not like adamant that he has to leave the Padres. They're interested in moving him because after trading for him from Miami, he was just kind of a letdown once they realized that he's pure batting average. And so they wanted to move forward and try to get something for him. However, it doesn't feel like that is going to happen. Now, Arraez, as we said, he's pure batting average. I mean, wow, voice crack. 314 on the year batting average. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Aaron Judge was higher, but Aaron Judge is an absolute just alien. But outside of that, I mean, the OPS, despite having a 314 average, his OPS was below average. Obviously, that's mainly from the slugging. 346 on-base percentage is fine for a guy like Arraez. And it should be better for a guy who's hitting 314, just a 346 on-base percentage. Like, the man does not take pitches. He swings at everything and he makes contact with a lot, but he cannot stop swinging the bat, and it clearly is an issue for any team that has him. If he was able to take pitches better, he'd be a much better player, but he just cannot take pitches, and it really causes issues. I mean, the OPS plus is above average for his career. It's above average. His OPS for his career is above average. But for a guy who's pure batting average and a stat that's kind of dying, it's understandable why the Yankees don't want to look into it. However, here's the interesting thing. I don't mind Luis Arraez, especially compared to Jorge Polanco. And Jack Curry also mentioned that Jorge Polanco is a player the New York Yankees have interest in. Now, it's very interesting to see that the Yankees are interested in Polanco and not Luis Arraez. And just taking a look at some other stuff, Bob Nightingale mentioned that the Yankees are trying to deal Marcus Stroman and trade his salary. Now, for Polanco, that doesn't matter. But just to go back to Arraez, it feels like, why would you sign Polanco if you could at least try to trade Stroman for Arraez? The Padres have been rumored to be interested in Marcus Stroman when they need pitching, and Dylan Cease's future is up in the air, and they just need pitching regardless, so it would make sense either way. And it would make some sense. But Jeff Passan actually said that the Yankees are unquestionably a deeper team than they were prior to this free agency beginning, and they're not done either. They've continued to discuss Luis Arraez with San Diego. However, Jack Curry denying that makes me believe that Jack Curry is right. Now, Passan's great. I'm not going to say he's not, but usually Jack Curry's the guy you trust here. I mean, he is the one who has his ear to the New York Yankees the most. It's been like that for a very long time. That's not going to change anytime soon. He is the premier New York Yankees insider of literally anyone. Passan's covering 30 teams. Jack Curry's covering one. He works for Yes Network. He's friends with the Yes people. He's friends with the Yankees people. You trust Jack Curry here, and you don't think that they have interest in Arraez. But if there's a world where you could trade Stroman for Arraez, then I'd rather do that than sign Jorge Polanco. I'm not a big fan of Polanco's game personally. He's a good fielder, but he's not world-beating as a fielder. He's a one-time All-Star, spent the last year with Seattle after being on Minnesota prior to that. And I mean, look, the batting average is not good. The OPS is bad. The on-base percentage isn't good. The slugging is bad. It just seems like this is a weird signing to make. And his WAR somehow still higher than Arraez's. But I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I really do. I like the switch hitting aspect of it all, but why? What does this do for you? Like, he's not an elite fielder. He's not an elite hitter. You'd have to put him in ninth in the lineup. You already have a little bit of a hitting lull. You could use another power bat, and you definitely need a contact bat as well. Polanco's neither of these things. I understand he's a fine baseball player. I'm not saying he's not, but that's all he is. I know Arraez isn't anything special as well, but I'd rather a guy who can hit the ball consistently as a contact bat than Jorge Polanco. That is the way I feel on this. I think it just makes sense for the New York Yankees to try to pursue that over anything else. So I don't understand the interest in Polanco. I think a lot of Yankees fans would agree with me, but at the same time, I really don't think the Yankees are going to sign Polanco and be cool with him being their second baseman. At the same time, if you're going to sign Jorge Polanco, then literally just let Oswald Peraza be the second baseman. Why not? What's the difference? Peraza can run. He's supposedly a really good fielder. He showed good numbers in his 10 at-bats that he had this season. I'd rather go Peraza. Take a shot on a young guy. He's 24 years old. He was a top prospect not that long ago before the Yankees just never let him play in the major leagues. Take a shot on Peraza before you're going to go with Polanco. If you're going to be interested in a guy like Polanco, it just makes no sense to not take a shot on Peraza, honestly. I don't see the point of that. It makes so much sense in the world to do it in that situation. Or they could trade Marcus Stroman and try to use that more money they have, especially if they're able to sign Roki Sasaki, to trade Clark Schmidt as well and try to get a really good second baseman while having money for it, or a third baseman and letting Jazz Chisholm move to second base. Chisholm's fine with either. The Yankees are fine with him playing either. I'd rather him be a second baseman because it's a more important fielding position. However, I just want the Yankees to get a good infielder. Get a final good infielder. I mean, you have excellent fielding around you. You have Jazz, Volpe, Goldie, all great fielders. Most of them can hit the ball. Volpe's a little inconsistent. Goldie's older. He's been good with the Yankees. Get a good hitting infielder who can at the very least be a modest fielder if you can figure that out. It makes way more sense than any of this. And if nothing else, I'd still rather them trade for Arraez, honestly. Or just play Peraza and see if that works. And then if it doesn't, readjust the deadline. That's what I would do personally. I do want to know what you guys would do, so let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.